Deeper Man here. So I'm going to invite anyone to come in to talk with me on this issue. Um, Recently, across my table, so to speak, came this group called The Vision, analyzed one of their arguments video that they did 4 arguments, and then looked closer at the channel as a whole and try to get to the bottom of what the channel's about, who's running it, what's going on. It seems very cult-like to me. It has that ring to it, and I'm very concerned, very very concerned. It it appears my fears are even worse than I originally thought, as there is either very little or no adults involved. This is like a teenage led group by I don't know how old the person is or who they are, where they meet, what their doctrines are, and again, the equipment and editing skills are pretty high quality for the most part. So it's just odd to me that they wouldn't have any adults at all involved. So I think that they could, without meaning to, the young person that's leading it could be creating a cult just because it says, well, we're Christian, and just because they mention God, that doesn't mean anything. People sometimes accidentally form cults uh, without intending to. And the patterns of other cults that have come and gone are there. The welcome invitation video that's very non-structured, the come, welcome, get to know your life purpose, the leader saying, I was given this idea by God, things like this really concern me. Now, a couple of people have come after me rather than my arguments to say, well, you're targeting these teenagers. No, I'm targeting the arguments. I don't It doesn't matter who presents the argument. The argument stands or fails on its own merit. And the follow-up video where I look into the channel as a whole is to potentially ask questions about if this is or is not a cult, and who's in charge and who's running the show. And the message I've got back is basically a non-answer, which furthers my concern that it could be, if not an outright cult, then the beginnings of a cult, or something weird is going on, because it's just too many funny things. And maybe that's just my own pattern seeking, wanting to see a pattern when there is none. But I'll tell you this: I will analyze any argument from anybody. And if we're going to start saying, well, you can't go after people that are, this age or that age, well, that's great. Then if we're going to play that card, then all I have to do is get somebody younger to give atheist arguments, or the Muslims can bring out their kids and they can start giving arguments. And we've already seen some political activists hire children actors to espouse political ideas. So what, we can't analyze those because they come from the mouths of kids when we know that it's actually the adults that fed them that? No, that's nonsense. What's the group called? It's called The Vision. And I already did a video about it. That's my previous video to this live stream. And yeah, the leader, who has so far not identified themselves, said that they were a young teenager. What that could mean anything. It could be 17, it could be 18. Doubt it though, because I would think they would say an adult, but technically teen, you have 18 and 19, still teen. But I doubt that that's the case. At any rate, it's very, it's just suspicious and weird to me. And whenever something, is that way, I like to analyze it and try to get to the bottom of it. And if these two special little snowflakes that are obviously husband and wife because they have the same name, they posted almost immediately after each other, they're going after me rather than the arguments. I'm like, well, do they have anything to do with this group at all? Like, do they know anyone in this group? And if so, why aren't they running the show then? Like, why are these teenagers gaining access to what looks like professional quality equipment and potentially good editing software. I mean, it looks like they're using something like Sony Vegas or something in one of their videos. So it brings so many questions to my mind of what the bleep is really going on. And of course, the person said, I don't have time. I'm not going to debate you, you know, and all that. And I'm like, well, fine. I mean, I'm not surprised by that. But I have all these questions that have gone unanswered. And I don't think that this leader will answer these questions. And if and when they don't, is, you know, it's just, I don't know. It's really weird. And you can't help but think, you know, this is, you know, what I first saw as a deliberate ploy by whoever it is, apologetic group. Let's put out, you know, young people out there on the internet, and then we can make our arguments. And then if anyone comes after us, we can just go, oh, you can't touch us. We're teenagers. You know, I mean, that seems like a decent tactic that's already potentially paying off for them. So, yeah, I don't know what to make of it. I've got anyone that wants to come in, talk about this, or challenge me on this. There's the link to the Hangouts. You're welcome to join. If you are a troll, you'll get evicted. Yeah, it's just weird. What do you do with it? And maybe I'm pattern seeking a bit. I don't know, but you know, when somebody tells me not to do something, like, oh, leave these people alone. Yeah, now now they're really gonna get it. You know, it's like, well, before I was gonna just, it's a one-off video. It's kind of a silly video. I don't care, whatever, it's done, and go to the next thing. But now I've been told I can't do it. Now I'm gonna do it. You know, kind of thing. It also reminds me of a long time ago. I had done this just complete takedown of this guy who was presenting, I think, a term paper, whatever, for the existence of God. I guess he went to a Christian school, and for whatever reason, he put it online. So I decimated the heck out of that. And I got nothing but insults from what I think are his friends on that video. It's just, you know, hey, Disturbing Trends, get on in here. You know, it's just nothing but insults from his friends. I mean, they probably were his friends because it just kept going and coming. And I'm like, bring on the hate. You know, I'm like, yeah, that's nice. Where's your argument? You know, and I'm like, yeah, I don't care if he's a kid. Doesn't matter. His argument sucked. I slammed it into nothingness. And they would be like, oh, did that make you feel good? Yes, it made me feel great. Where's your argument? Bring it on. Yeah. Yeah, okay, sure. Disturbing, get in here so I have somebody to talk to. Get your rear in gear. Yeah, insults and injured. Yeah, you know, when people don't have an argument, they'll resort to insults, you know, because they don't have an argument. So that's all they have. Yeah, get in here. Good. We talk about vaporware, or whatever the bleep it's called. I just found out about that. Your little avatar icon. I'm like, oh, okay. Then it's your fault that I've been watching this video series down the rabbit hole. Sort of. Anyways, I don't know. But yeah, you know, vaporwave, yeah. Weird stuff. But you know, I mean, do people really think that, you know, that they can just come online and not get challenged? Is that, I mean, was that the thought? It's like, hey, this is a good idea, you know? I mean, you know, I did videos when I was kind of, well, you know, I didn't do them when I was younger than an adult because the net wasn't around to do that yet. But I did them fairly young. So, you know, I was quickly learned that, you know, whatever you put out there is going to, you know, come right back at you. People are going to smack you around. So it's not a safe place, the internet. Get in here, Disturbing. I'm running out of things to say. Yeah, I don't know. So maybe we should cover like how to identify a cult versus a religion. And I've been told this thing, and I think it's kind of funny, but it is kind of true that a cult is a thing where the leader is alive and the leader's laying out all the rules and things like this. And a religion is just the same thing, but the leader has died. So Christianity was seen as a cult when Jesus was around, and then once Jesus was gone, it became a religion. Kind of a jokey way, but usually cults also have isolation from peers or isolation from parents or from their own morals, or and so that's kind of where my antenna sprang up for the Vision group. And if it looks like a cult and seems like a cult, then it might be one, and if it's not, then hey, I'm wrong, and all right, I'm wrong, and I can breathe a sigh of relief. There's just a bunch of kids that don't know any better and think it's a good idea to put out religious propaganda online, and that's and then that will be the end of that, and I'll just move on from there, which is what I was thinking of doing anyways. I usually analyze one video per channel and then move on to the next thing that I'm doing. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I really don't. And I've got an email. Is it from the Vision telling me to go away? No, it's not. Oh, okay. I got a Bing. I don't know what that Bing was about. Down here. Oh. Okay. If it... What's that? The Forces... Soy Wars. What's this stream about? If it looks like a Kurt... It's probably a Kurt, yeah. The stream is about arguments and how they stand or fail on their own merits. That's part of the stream. Secondly is me kind of complaining-ish about... I've done now 2 videos on this group on YouTube called The Vision. And the first video was just kind of my, I happened to find an argument for God online and analyzed it, and it happened to be made by a teenager, which is like, okay, whatever, I don't care. It's the argument that matters to me, nothing else. So, they didn't present the arguments very well, and I mentioned that in the video, and so I knock it down logically when I can, and when I couldn't because they presented the argument so badly, I said, the science just disagrees with this. But then I made a follow-up video to that where it's kind of a more humorous video where I say, the strange story of the Vision. And I've already got a couple of little annoyed people at me like, oh, well, you're attacking the teenagers, you're stalking them, oh, you gotta leave them alone. Oh, this is weird. And I was like, whatever. Come on. I'm attacking the arguments, not the people. But I do find it weird that there's little to no adult supervision, and it seems to be that the leader, and they're calling the person the leader. That's kind of creepy too. Is another teenager potentially? Or at least that's what I've been told. I don't know if it's true, and that's just, again, so then either they have really good equipment because their camera looks, the quality looks good. So, I'm like, well, this can't be just a bunch of teenagers. I suppose it could be, but, it's kind of weird. So, hey, Johnny. Johnny's welcome too. You can get in here. But, I've never shunned away from an argument because of the person making it, but I do just find it weird, this channel, The Vision, and how there's apparently a bunch of teenagers running around doing stuff. It's just without adult supervision. It's kind of weird. I don't know. Hey, Disturbing Trends.
Hey, am I live or am I Memorex?
You are Vapor Live.
Oh, Vaporwave. Allow me to plug my new Vaporwave CD.
No, please. I just finished learning about that, and I think it was because of you, and then I think it was because of you that then I found the Down the Rabbit Hole series.
Oh, and Vaporwave is sick.
Yeah, so like I learned more about Vaporwave through that series, and then that series was in my brain, and I couldn't get it out, so I made my the Strange Tale of the Vision video that I just did before this hangout, and I did it in the style of Down the Rabbit Hole. So it's your fault. It's your
Well, I'll take all the credit for it.
So, you know, my first video that I did on this channel, the Vision, is called Young Person Old Arguments Forgot. And it's just kind of a real quick, you know, breakdown of the pathetic same arguments we've heard a million times that the person in the video doesn't even present that well, whatever. And I'm just going to go to, you know, whatever. But then my video, The Strange Case of the Vision, you know, I made that, and that's kind of more the humorous, kind of down the rabbit hole-ish take on the whole channel and how weird it is and all that. And so Cindy Garson and John Garson are both like, stop targeting the teenagers, leave them alone and all that, you know. And this one guy's like, oh, you're like stalking them. Should we call the authorities on you? And I'm like, yeah, go ahead. I don't care. You know, whatever. Yeah, I didn't say that, but, you know, I don't care.
That's kind of weird because when you're, when you put yourself out there and, you know, you don't know how old people are, right? And
well, I knew this one. It's obvious they're a teenager.
So you're picking on kids, huh?
Oh, yeah. I'm picking on anyone. I don't care who it is.
Well,
are you kidding me? You know,
like but I guess if you were to take like some young person that's minding their own business and pick on them, that's
well,
bad.
That's different. Yeah, I mean,
if they're putting themselves out there, then
they're putting their ideas out there, and so their ideas get to be picked apart. And then the channel as a whole, which is the follow-up video, the channel as a whole gets to be picked apart as well. And I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too into it to call it a cult, but it's just, you know, if you watch their video about us, it tells you nothing about them, and it's like, you know, find your purpose and all that sort of tone. Join us, you know. It's just that. You know, what else is that but a cult? And then if it's run, okay, if it is being run by another young person, that actually makes it worse, because now we have the potential of a bunch of random younger people that are with little or no adult supervision creating their own group and then deciding to put the stuff that they want to on YouTube. You know, isn't this the right mix for a cult or what? Or should I just run away from it? I don't know. You tell me. You know?
Well, there's a line. This came up a lot with one group. The line of what is a cult and what isn't. Really, sometimes it's really vague.
Yeah, and like I said, you know, the joke is, you know, cults where the leader's alive, and then a religion's where the leader's dead. You know, but you know, it's just kind of weird. Everything about the channel is weird, and that might just be an artifact of them all being young and not knowing any better. But, you know, once I've been told, hey, you know, leave these people alone, well, it's like, well, now I'm going to have to do every video. Now I have to analyze every single video they've done. You left me no choice. You told me not to do something.
Oh, they're asking for it. They're asking for it,
right? Oh, well, I'm not going to, by the way. I don't care. I'm done with them at this point. You know,
good for you.
You know, but
you only have so many breaths before you die. And you're using
you know, I've got other things out there to analyze. You know, I usually only do 1, maybe 2 videos on a given channel. Of course, that rule is broken every time when I do a series, but whatever, like Big Tong's Bad Logic series that I have to get back to, you know. But if we're going to say, well, you can't go after them because they're teenagers, well, you know where that's going to lead. Now we're just going to have Muslim teenager apologists out there, you know, and, you know, young atheist apologists out there. And,
oh, boy.
So it's all kids making arguments. So, you know, the politician doesn't, you know, he sends their, you know, he gets, you know, Donald Trump sends out, what's the name? Barron Trump.
Oh, SpongeBob?
Yeah, this little kid, yeah. So he's like, hey, go make a speech for me. They can't attack you, you know. Hey, maybe that explains his Twitter. He's giving it to his kid. He lets his kid run his Twitter account.
Well, this came into the whole public thing with the Parkland high school kids, and they
and they're talking about shooting, right? Well, right. Every single one of their arguments can be deconstructed, and they get to and are debating with adults,
right?
So, if we're gonna say, well, you can't do it here, but you can do it here. Why? Why? So yeah, I love when I get these sort of insults though, because it's just so great. You can feel the Christian love coming out of this. You want me to read them to you? Yeah, I mean, they're on this is great. So Cindy, this is on the strange case of the vision. Now, if you talk me out of it, I'll take the video down because I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. But you let me know if I'm going too far. Anyways, so Cindy says, I'd like to politely ask that you stop targeting teenagers on the Vision channel. If you don't agree with a bunch of kids, what's the point of attacking them? You're an adult. I respectfully ask you to please leave these kids alone. There are plenty of adult channels you can surely find to boost your ego from and argue your beliefs. Knock yourself out arguing with folks your own age, not kids. That's just wrong and creepy. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.
Well, you got to love them.
Yeah, isn't that great? But then the John Garson, so I'm guessing her husband, says a little bit more harsher words to me. Stroke your ego, creep. You seem to have a vendetta against these teenagers. What is your attraction to these kids? How old are you? 40? Are you still living in your parents' basement looking for ways to build up your shattered self-confidence? Find a girlfriend if you can, or at least some other distraction to take your mind off bullying these kids. You are a sad case, dude. Leave these kids alone. They are trying to do good in this world. And then he had 2 more responses, which I deleted. So I mean, I can't read them now because they're gone, but one of them was like, what are you stalking them? Should we report you to the authorities? It was like, what are you stalking them was one. And then should we report you to the authorities was the next one. I blew up those because I'm like, whatever. Come on. Attack the arguments. Attack my
people
argument.
Go overboard with the accusations of crimes. That's something I do not, I have no,
well, I'm trying to
patience with that when people start lashing out. What are you stalking? What are you doing something illegal?
Well, I'm worried. I am worried about the teenagers, and it's weird to me that that on the flip side aren't they worried? Because if they're in a cult or if they're starting a cult, they don't even have to know that they're starting a cult. That's the danger of weird thinking, not just religion, but any odd thinking that people fall into is when you get a group of people that all share the same ideas together, and you have one single leader, that can become a cult. And if there's no adult supervision, then that's even worse. And that seems to be the case here. So it's like, all these questions I have go unanswered. Who are you guys? Who's in charge here? There's no adult supervision. What's going on?
It's like that island with a bunch of kids that are shipwrecked. The hell's that called again?
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about, man. But you tell me. Okay, so I mean, you didn't see the silly video, but it's just a silly video. I don't care. It could be blowing up. Doesn't matter to me. If any one of my normal subscribers tells me that that it comes off wrong or anything like that, it's gone. Because whatever. I'll be wrong. Or if they want me to, I'll put up a full retraction. Whatever they want. I don't care. Because I can be wrong. That's fine. I can be wrong that they're cult or seem like it, and maybe I'm making too much of a big deal out of nothing. I don't know. But, like I said, I'm not going to do, unless they were willing to debate or talk to me, and the leader who just says that they're the leader, that's it. So yeah, that's not cult-like at all, But anyways, the leader was like, I'm not going to debate you because 75% of debates go nowhere. They actually have
Lord of the Flies. Yep.
Yeah, sure. 75%. That's a meaningless statistic if I've ever heard one, but I don't know how you quantified it. How many debates did you have before you realized that it was 75% of them went nowhere? What do you mean by that? But yeah, I mean, if they're not going to talk to me about what's going on in their channel, then they're not going to answer my text questions, then that's the end of it, because I can't investigate further without it becoming weird, and I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole because I'm not in the position of authority to do that, and I don't have anything that could really show wrongdoing per se. It's just have a hunch.
I didn't watch a video, but you criticized or picked apart their ideas, not them personally, right?
Yeah, no, I don't care about them. But the next one is more about the channel as a whole and how it's weird and kind of off that they're using Instagram to contact them. They don't really tell you who they're about. Just the weirdness of the channel. So that's still not attacking any person or anything. It's just I find it weird. That's all.
Well, maybe it is weird.
Yeah, but that's what I said. I said, if any one of my normal subscribed people say Deacon for the Band, it's just you're putting your foot somewhere where you don't want to put it, or whatever.
What about your abnormal subscribers?
Yeah, well, look, the people that I know their names, that comment on my things frequently, like Soy Wars and Purple Rhymes with Orange, which is great. These wonderful people comment in my live chats, but rarely, if ever, on any of my videos. So, like, here's another guy. I know this guy.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
What's up?
Greetings.
This is the blackface.
Yes.
It just says duh.
I've been actually called on it.
The Theophobe is here.
Hello, guys.
Hey,
I just caught your live stream while coming home and just
we're here discussing how I'm going to get myself either into or out of trouble, if I'm in or out of I don't know.
Trouble for what?
Oh, well, for daring to pick apart arguments of teenagers. So this is a bad thing with live stream, is like I have to recap everything. And then I have to find a way that's entertaining to do it so that the people that have already heard what I've already said won't.
But are they really teenagers, or are they like 57-year-old?
No, the one is definitely
they're definitely kids.
Yeah, because you can see what they look like. They all look like teenagers to me. But right. I mean, it's a bad idea. Don't. Why would you do this to yourself? Don't put yourself out there like that. It's just a bad idea. Wait a few years, then put yourself out there. But look, it doesn't matter. Like I said, the argument what matters. So that's why I called it doesn't matter who gives the argument.
Well, there's no idea that is basically impossible to have any form of debate over. I mean, even atheism. I'm a soft atheist, and even the concepts of atheism can clearly be debated about. And there's no idea that cannot be picked apart. Anybody who says so doesn't believe in freedom of speech. So that's all I have to say about that.
You missed me reading what these lovely people had said to me in my previous video. It's fantastic. So
I can only imagine, man.
Oh yeah. But
you gotta remember something. Being a non-believer, even if you're let's just say you're not even an atheist, and I know you are, but let's say even if you're agnostic, being a agnostic or a non-believer, an atheist, what have you, it puts a giant bullseye on your back. And this is not to say that religious figures come after you blatantly, but there are the demographics within religious circles that will do anything you can to try to talk you down from either your principles, what have you, and they do it with a lot of logical fallacies. So
yeah, it's funny. Here's another little gem from Cindy Garson. I will not encourage your group of kids to debate a grown man. What the hell? When did I? I missed the Vision actually responding to me. who's my opinion simply out to stalk them. Apparently has no life. It's not your business to know why they've chosen the content of their own channel. That's why you have your own channel. It disturbs you to this point. Please use enough self-control to keep scrolling. The fact you find it so important to discredit a bunch of kids is seriously pitiful. I can assure you, since you're so concerned, that there are plenty of adults that are encouraging these kids and they approve 100%. Like I said before, there's a ton of adults, so you can go after that you don't agree with. Why are you directing your concern to these teens who do have extreme close supervision is absolutely not your concern. Thank you. Okay, now I'm even more convinced that they were a cult than I was before.
Well, let me ask you this, D-Man. Did you get a chance to watch my conversation a couple weeks back with some account man or some account guy?
Oh, no, I've been meaning to.
It's 7 hours. We had a really long
You just went on and on with each other on politics and everything. I haven't gotten the chance to because
it was a great discussion, but go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to read out the vision here because this is all part of the strange case of the vision.
Well, in reference to that discussion, I made another video about it, but last Sunday I made a video in reference to picking apart your own faith in regards to cherry picking. And you got to understand something. A lot of these people at a younger age, and this is even speaking for myself growing up in a religious cult, I was literally a cult within a cult. But anyways, the problem with a lot of these young folks is they get indoctrinated so young in reference to ignoring fact. It's just ingrained in individuals in reference to science, history, their own demographics, their own history behind their own religion and beliefs. And a lot of these religious figures, religious leaders will do whatever it takes to try to paint their belief structure as completely harmless or completely benign in reference to its own history. So my point is this. So when I talk to some account guy, one of the key things that really stuck with me is how you made the argument that you don't need to read your own source material to be considered that belief structure. So in a nutshell, like he says that you don't have to read your own Bible to be a Christian. You probably don't have to read the Quran to be a Muslim. And I just found that very confounding.
It's very true. Not to get off the topic at hand that I want to cover here in this stream, but yeah.
Well, no, it's tied into that.
Growing up in America, like you go to church and everything you get is essentially from the pulpit, and maybe you read the Bible here and there on your own, but there's no real, there's nothing really forcing you or asking you to do that. It depends, I guess, what church you wind up going to. So I can only really, speak from my own experience. So that's only one dot on the chart,
They also instill suspicion. So if you're not talking the same language, then they automatically, you're a subversive. You're a subversive element. You're not to be trusted, and you're trying to change their mind using logic or something.
Yeah. The thing is that, regarding reading the Bible or whatever the religious book is, you could go all the way to throughout your entire life and barely, if ever, read the Bible and still be a Christian because you just go to church. This one guy that was at this church I went to would tell me, I don't agree with anything they say. I'm like, well, why are you coming here? He's like, well, I come here because I like the people. So he was just there for the community.
Well,
so it's like,
Well, see, D-Man, what I was saying directly ties into the actually conversation point about addressing or criticizing anybody of a younger age that may have these certain religious or political views, what have you. And the problem is, one of the key figures is example, just like I mentioned. When you don't even read, I would say at least 95% of non-believers have read good portions of the source material of the religion they belong to, and that is one of the main key reasons why they no longer follow such belief structures.
Yeah, I've heard that the meme of if you read the whole Bible or you read the whole Quran that you'll.
I read it. I read the entire Bible
I don't know. I mean, I'd have to see studies or whatever. But anyways, we're getting way off the thing. So the Vision had actually responded that the leader, for better term to call this person, said, yeah, that they're a teenager. We aren't leading our own teachings. We're just talking about what we know from the Bible. I'm the founder of the group. There are no adults in charge. We have cameras and laptops from our parents, which is what we use to record. We ask our adult pastors and adults that we trust for advice. There are certain adults, pastors, parents, etc., that review our videos before we upload them. And to answer your other question, we expected responses from others who have diverse viewpoints, but we weren't expecting other responses to be so aggressive. We're just a bunch of Christian kids talking about Jesus. That's all. Should I respond how I want to that comment, or should I not? Because there's a thing that I'd like to tell this Vision person. I'm gonna do it. I mean, come on, I got it.
So they're, in a nutshell, what they're saying is when it comes to making any video content, any type of material on YouTube or social media, they get the advice of the older generation in regards to whatever content that they're planning on making. Did I break that down correctly?
I think so.
Okay, so the question I would ask in that situation is very simple. Why aren't you asking your young folks to grow their faith themselves? Why are you making them believe what you believe? Why wouldn't you want them to develop their relationship with their supreme being themselves instead of you telling them what to believe?
Oh, well, that
would be my question.
You know, now you're getting into the stalking that I'm being accused of by Cindy and John Garson. No, I wanted to say to the Vision, welcome to the internet where religion comes to die. I don't know. Should I respond that way? I mean, part of me wants to. Most of me wants to.
I would.
You know? Because, I mean, that's the reality of it. I'm going to hit respond. I don't care. That's the reality of it. You know, you didn't expect this sort of response. Well, I'm the first of, I hope, many other atheists, and I will encourage everyone now, go and analyze the hell out of these kids' arguments.
What's the name of the channels, if I may ask?
The Vision.
The Vision?
The Vision. Yeah.
The Vision.
The Vision.
Okay, I'll check them out tonight.
Yeah, look at who they are video, which tells you absolutely nothing.
Well, there's a guy just like that, and I'm pretty sure it'll be easy to break down. There's another gentleman,
here's
Bible
their
Flocks
channel
guy, or Bible Flocks, whatever. He has a similar channel, Seventh-day Adventist.
So I want to put it out there. So what I'm going to do is say, look, every atheist that is listening to my voice now or later, go to their channel, pick a video, and respond to it. And be as harsh and critical as you can be. And that's my response to these little snowflakes that are like, oh, don't go after the kids. Yeah, you know what? I don't care who's making it. Doesn't matter.
Well, they are learning from they're learning from the older generation. That's how the God virus is transmitted.
Okay, well then, great. Let's hear from the adults then. They can debate me. They can come on right now. I know what was this? A few minutes ago that I got this. 11 minutes ago, Cindy Garson. So, hey, Cindy, are you there? Come on here. Come on in. You can talk to me. You can bring your husband too. You can accuse me of whatever you want live, if you have the goal to do so.
See, my whole stick is, you're more a philosophical guy, which I respect a lot, D, man. And I don't personally have a problem with attacking any idea. I don't care what age group you are. The only thing I would say to anybody in reference to that is make sure you do it on a factual basis, because as soon as you resort to any ad hominem attacks or any black and white fallacies, then you're just going to basically fall.
Right, absolutely. Because I said nothing about the only question that I had.
You were. I'm just saying.
No. Yeah, but the question that was in my mind that I've kind of got an answer to was who's running the show, and it seems to be
the parents are running the show, man.
Well,
come on.
Yes, that's funny because the kid says, or the teenager says that that they're doing that. There's no adults in charge, and then Cindy says that there's 100% people are improving them and stuff. So, and they have extreme close supervision. So wait a minute. So are there adults in charge, or are they but they are supervised, or they're, which is it? It can't be both.
Right. D-Man, all forms of knowledge come from some source, and I guarantee you that the parents have their thumb. The children may run the entire channel themselves. Maybe they got inspired. Hey, Dad. Hey, Mom. I'm going to run a channel.
Yeah.
What have you? But we know. I guarantee you the kids are getting fed. Man.
That's what I said.
No
I said,
doubt.
who are the adults in charge? And I'm gonna, and that's my primary question: is if there are adults supervising this, then I'd much rather talk to them. I don't want to talk to these teenagers. That would be more in the realm of like street epistemology or something. And that's
I don't actually find it a bad thing to talk to children.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. But what I'm saying is, like, I could debate them or not. Doesn't matter to me, because the debate's all that matters. But I'd rather talk to the adults who allowed this to happen and ask them what the bleep were they thinking, because it's like, did you we didn't expect this sort of response. Yeah. Have you?
You know what? I'm looking at the channel and the titles of the videos, and I can see why you were compelled to respond, because they're asking hard questions, and so if they're going to grow their faith, they would want to be challenged. And you
notice some of the thumbnails are questionable, or is that just me?
Well, there's a lot of clickbait here,
God, doubting God. I mean, they're challenging themselves, and
which is good.
You would think that their faith would grow stronger being challenged, but what they're saying is no fair. You're challenging them.
Yeah, I'm an adult, so I'm not.
Because you're an adult.
Yeah, and because I've gone after them with two whole videos, I'm stalking them. Come on. In my video, I say I am worried that they're using Instagram because somebody that was looking to go after them could use their pictures to figure out where they're located. And that doesn't seem to be the case, but it's just kind of weird. And one of the pictures on their Instagram of the vision really bothered me and deeply troubles and upsets me.
Well, D-Man, the only thing I could tell you in that,
and I put that in the video. Look, let me go on this a little bit here, because
go for it, bro. Sorry,
not everybody in here has watched. If I could, I'd play my own video here so we could watch it together, but I can't figure out how the hell to do that. So, the one picture, as I was scrolling through their Instagram trying to find out how to direct message them, I never did figure that out. So I just put a message on a random picture of theirs to email me, which they finally did. The one of the people has what did it say? Ugly loser on their ugly on their forehead and loser on their neck, written in like Sharpie marker or something. And I'm like, number one, who did that to you? Number two, why did you put this on Instagram? Like, are you feeling bad about yourself, or is somebody else like bullying you? If there are adults supervising, why did they think that this was a good idea to put out there? Like, there's so many questions that I have.
Well, see, here's you gotta understand something, and this is coming from my own past, bro. As soon as you go after their ideas, the typical theist response is to play a victim. They play the victim card very easily. Oh, you're oppressing me, or you don't believe in freedom of religion. And so when it comes to my content, for example, like myself, I can't speak for anyone but myself, but just be cautious, because as soon as they play the victim card, believe me, that's what they're doing. And it's pretty sad that it seems like they're doing so. I don't know the entire details.
So 7 minutes ago, Cindy Garrison responded to my question, who are the adults in charge? None of my business.
Wow.
That pisses me off. That really does.
If they're not willing to confront your criticism,
really suspect that this is some sort of cult now. Like, before I was just kind of playing.
Dude, all religions are cults.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's none of my business who's running the show. I think it is kind of.
D-Man, my friend.
I'm making it my business.
let me put it like this, brother. I would if they're not willing to engage you in an
Yeah.
honest and forthcoming discussion, why waste your time?
I know, but
we're
look,
better
this
than
is what
this.
I do.
We're better
This
than
is
them.
what I do. This is all I do is waste
Oh,
my time.
absolutely. But there's so many channels on YouTube that are, when they start making. I would attack them or attack their ideas directly if they were making, statements directly about atheism. Like, for example, they're saying atheists are evil, or atheists are this, atheists are that. Now, if they're just spewing whatever religious propaganda that they're going to be doing, I would just move on, to be honest, because if you've debunked their talking points and they're not willing to relate with you in an honest discussion without provocating toward any form of insults or what have you, or playing the victim card, just move on, bro. Because
All
they're
right,
wasting.
all right. Okay.
That's my opinion.
I said I'd listen to my people that I trust, and you're one of my people that I shouldn't call you my people. That doesn't sound right. The people that I trust, leave it at that. And I will. That's
D-Man, you have such a philosophical viewpoint. That's again one of the reasons why I respect you.
I know what it is to have been a young Christian, a medium age Christian, an old Christian. I know that. I live that. And I can put myself in those shoes. The youth group that I was a part of, the internet wasn't really, it was just beginning. It was there, but it hadn't exploded.
The early 90s.
Yeah, early 90s, right. So, it never came up as a thing like, hey, we could, do this or whatever. So this is kind of a new phenomenon, and I wonder if we're gonna see more things like this as time goes on.
There was a recent video. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm just saying, is this a one-off deal where we'll see, maybe now and again we'll see some youth decide to do the apologetic? Because usually it's one person. It's usually not a group of people.
Well, all I'm going to say, man, is you're going to be seeing individuals like this for a long time on social media. Religion's not going to die out, and there are always going to be these remnants that are always going to be making such content or what have you. And how they do it is going to change over time, of course, but what have you. The only thing I can say is if I can give a couple of recommendations on people, I would love to hit them on in regards to your philosophical expertise. In my opinion, I would really love to see you hit Bible Flockbox or what's the other channel? Those two females that do Christian videos. I forgot what they do. I would love to see you hit either one of them, because you see, like I said, that's one of the reasons why I've been kind of dry for the last couple of weeks or week and a half, because there hasn't been a lot of videos on YouTube that have been doing a lot of content based on making factual lies in reference to their talking points. But see, you have a more philosophical viewpoint.
Yeah.
So you make a lot of content countering them from your range of expertise.
Yeah, well, send whatever it is you want me to look at to my email, and I'll check it out.
Well, like I said, just Google, YouTube.
I don't want to Google it. You got to send it to me. I can be lazy.
Well, no, like I said, just YouTube. Or I'll link it to you.
No. Hey, he's your people.
Look, man, you're my people. You got to do it the way I want you to do it. Am I going to be living down my "your people" statement now?
No, we're never going to let you forget it.
Oh, guys.
So, okay, so you didn't say my peeps, at least.
My peeps, yeah.
This is Bible. Okay, I can't.
LOL, like for sure.
I don't have permission to. Okay, I'll just do it in the Hangouts.
Do it in the other one. Yeah. So, anyways, I don't know, but like I said, Purple was saying that they've been really busy, so they don't comment that much or whatever. And I guess I can only speculate on why people don't leave comments. I always found this to be a phenomenon of YouTube that I just don't understand. It's like, well, I know 300 people have watched it, but I've got like 5 comments. Like, why? What's going on? And I guess, you couldn't. Maybe it stems from TV days. Like, you couldn't comment on TV shows. So I don't know. But everyone has their the people think.
Well, another person that I would this is a great website right here, which is this is a thing of the top 20 religious or Christian people on YouTube. That's a great website. I just linked to you. There is also another person that I don't know if you've heard of Roaming Millennial. She is a somewhat of a Christian.
I've heard of her.
Is she a teenager?
She's
I don't want to be accused again.
Well, no, she is a right-wing Christian apologist, and I mean, she's a big fan of Jordan Peterson, for example. So, if you really want to hit someone, I've done a couple of videos on her. Yeah.
Hold on, guys. Hold on, everybody. June 2018 is the end of America. Something big. Is something big about to happen? Well, he's only got 9 minutes. Well, this is Bible Flock Box. Is America going to be destroyed in June of 2018? That's what some people are saying.
Well, no, you got to let me
on the Great from the Book of Revelation, and the Bible symbolizes the United States of America. And since Revelation says Babylon will fall, that means America will be destroyed.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about Bible Flock Box. So this guy is a Seventh-day Adventist. Seventh-day Adventists are distant cousins to the Jehovah's Witnesses. They are what you call, I did a whole video about this, but they are what you call Millerites. And to put it in a nutshell, they basically make their founders were notorious for making predictions of the end times. And so the Jehovah's Witnesses and the Seventh-day Adventists do this even to this day. So that it does not surprise me that this guy made such a video. I haven't seen it, but
I mean, come on. How can this not be clickbait?
No, of course it's clickbait.
No matter what he says, either he says yes or no, it doesn't matter. It's still, I mean,
their latest live Q&A, can atheists go to heaven?
10 things. This is all clickbait. 10 things we will do in heaven that will surprise you. What is this, BuzzFeed for Christians?
That's one of the reasons
you didn't know about Jesus Christ. Number 7 will shock you. Click to find out more. Advertisement for erectile dysfunction. Damn it!
10 fruits you didn't know you could eat as a Christian.
Yeah.
See, this is the reason why I would love you.
Facts about.
well, D-Man, this is one of the reasons why I would love you to hit like Bible Flock Box. A lot of his videos are not based on factual, on regards to facts. A lot of his videos are based on philosophy and more on the religious angle. In regards to philosophy.
Unless there's an argument, or at least a semblance of an argument, I can't really do anything with it. But
well,
I'll poke around a little bit and see what.
Can atheists go to heaven? I would love to hit.
Can atheists go to heaven? Oh, what? Unless he says yes, I'm gonna be really. Actually, I don't want to go. That's. It's funny because I've been told I won't go. I've been told I will go, and there's nothing I can do about it. And I'm like, why? And so the people that tell me I will go is because I've been a Christian. So once saved, always saved. And I'm like, yeah, but I blaspheme the Holy Spirit like all the time. Isn't that enough to get me out of it? Like, I don't want to go. I'm just going to cause trouble. I'm just going to make God's life a living hell the whole time I'm there. Like, how do I avoid going there? And they won't give me an answer.
That's a good debate when you're talking to a Jehovah's Witness, though.
Oh, don't even get me started on those guys.
I'm going to stay here. What's wrong with the earth?
Well, that's what
wait. It's Jehovah's. I always mix it up. Is it the Witnesses that think that you'll become God, or is that the Mormon?
No, that's Mormon. Jehovah's Witnesses believe that, according to their understanding of Revelations, that there is going to be this great tribulation, this great Armageddon, and what happens from there is, during this Armageddon, it's going to be called the first test. And during this first test, supposedly everyone's going to be resurrected and to live on earth. And the chosen people, they call the heavenly body, is going to go into heaven. And it's 144,000, 12,000 from 12 tribes of Israel. Everyone's going to live on earth for 1,000 years in this paradise. And what happens afterward is, after Jesus Christ imprisons the devil for 1,000 years, humans are going to live for 1,000 years in peace, learning the bliss of God. Then now here's the stupid part. I want you to really think about this.
Go ahead.
Well, I want you to really take this in real quick and how stupid this is. So after supposedly Jesus Christ imprisons the devil for 1,000 years, he's going to let him go.
Yep. I know.
after 1,000 years.
And then he's going to kill him again.
Yeah. What kind of God is that?
Well, the thing is, the Book of Revelation is more than likely, although there's debate about it, I'm sticking with my guns on this. It's about King Nero. The original number is not 666, it was 616, which, due to the numerology that the Jews were are fascinated by, when you add somebody's name up, you can get a numerical value. Jesus's name equals 888. King Nero, his full name equals 616, and now, everything else.
Do you have anything factual to back this up, or just...
Yeah, there's a lot. I can give you stuff, but at
make a video about it.
Yeah.
That's a great topic. I would love to see a fact-based video on that.
Okay, yeah, I guess I could do that.
That's a good video, man.
That's so much work.
Well, you see how I make my videos.
Yeah.
I don't make a lot. I don't do a lot of work.
Hey, I got a question for you, Deconverted Man.
Mm.
When it's a lot of work, are your videos, while I'm uploading my videos, they're demonetized before they're even uploaded, which means they're not,
they hate you.
Yeah. So is that happening to you? Because
I've never monetized my channel. So
okay.
Right.
Yeah. The only thing I had once upon a time was Patreon when I was really hurting for money, and love all the people that helped me out back then. As soon as I didn't need that money, I turned that off because I never wanted to do this for any other reason than it's just, fun to do. And that's why I'll never be like huge. I won't go down like the YouTube route of, selling. Well, not just selling yourself out, but all the things that you have to do to become a big YouTuber. You have to upload, on time and certain amount of length of a video, yada yada. There's a whole formula, and I just won't do it. I'm not, so I'm not gonna.
Well, there's another way you can grow your channel, and this is hyperbole, but you could go in the anti-SJW stick and go with that trend.
But I tried that in a couple of videos, and my normal subscribers, as well as my abnormal ones, didn't like it. So I'm like, all right, just go back to doing what I do. Okay.
I know that was being sarcastic though.
This video, Can Atheists Go to Heaven? It's an hour long.
Okay.
How am I supposed to respond to that? Does he answer the question?
No, watch it and look at his talking points.
Oh.
That's what I do. And look, I'll tell you something, man. When I make my videos, I don't do scripts. All my videos are ad hoc. Like I'll do the same video like 20 times, and I'll have to lead them all, of course, until I get it right. But sometimes that's what you got to do, man. If there's a talking point that I'm really motivated to talk about, then I do what I got to do. Everyone's different though.
Where's your channel? I don't see it.
The Theophobe.
I
haven't posted since last Sunday.
Yeah, it's not coming.
I know Wretched. I've covered
search.
I've covered Wretched. It's funny. The last time I think, if this is who I'm thinking it is, the last time I talked about Wretched, somebody had pointed out. I want to make sure I'm thinking of the right person. No, I'm thinking about somebody else. Never mind. What's this? Oh, no thanks. Have a great evening. Cindy doesn't want to join me. Oh well. Okay. Bye.
That's what I would say, man. Just move on. If they're not willing to engage you with an honest conversation, there's my channel, man.
All right, I'm done. Whatever. Moving on. Next. But I still encourage anyone to go and just analyze the bleep. It doesn't even matter if you analyze the video. Just respond to it. Be as harsh and critical and jaded as possible. Just really give it to these people.
I wouldn't advise that.
No,
I wouldn't advise that.
Why not? Come on.
Because like I said, if people are watching right now,
they're sitting there. They're sitting there and they're thinking like, oh, we can use these people as meat shields to protect us from our... No, that's why I'm saying we should, this is like my anti-theism brain turning on here. I'm sorry.
My friend, if they're not willing to engage you and whatever content you critique them on, then that means anybody who watches in the future, they're going to do the exact same thing. Because you got to understand something. If you're going to attack their ideals, then make sure you do it from a standpoint that they would understand. Attack them with using their own source material.
Yeah, I know, and you know, I'm glad I have you guys to bounce my emotions off of, because you know, look, when I get certain things, like, you know, just set me the wrong direction in my head, you know, when I'm told, you know, like I said, they said not to do this, it's like, oh well, now I have to do all of it, you know, or the, you know, leave them alone. Well, then everyone should go after them, you know. I mean, what do you expect? Welcome to the internet, you know.
Yeah, like I said,
you're gonna get criticized for everything. But I don't think anything that anyone has done, including myself, but I can't analyze myself, has been harsh or whatever.
Of course not. No idea is too harsh to be criticized. Anybody who again states that is an idiot. You know what I mean? You can attack any idea you want, as long as it doesn't resort to, you know, personal attacks. Well, as long as you're attacking their ideas.
Always. I totally am with you on that.
I've seen your content.
You know, the argument must stand or fail in so minutes. And to say, well, it's teenagers doing it, or it's, you know, I don't care. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I didn't even really pay. Like, you know what? It just doesn't matter.
I think the consensus is for you to move on.
Yeah. Okay. I'm moving on.
No, not right now. We got to talk about it.
I'm moving on.
After we're done.
We're done. Next video. See you guys. You know. Okay, so we're going to talk about.
I said, there are just so many channels, D-Man. I would love you and your philosophical mind to go after.
All right,
that you would blow them out of the water.
I'll look at some of these top 10. I think I've covered Ratchet at one point. I don't remember when.
See, like I said, man, I wish I had your intellect when it comes to philosophy, man.
I don't think that I'm that smart.
It doesn't mean look. However you want to describe yourself, I'm just telling you based on watching your content myself. I'm not trying to, you know, rain praise on you. I'm just telling you what I've viewed myself. You're way more intelligent when it comes to philosophy than I am.
Oh, okay.
So you may not consider yourself this uber intelligent person when it comes to this subject, but to me, in my standard, you are.
All right. Well, thank you for the kind words.
Well, it's the truth, man.
All right. So Erica said that they commented on a 1 Minute Skeptic. I'm guessing that was that. So on the 22nd, I'm supposed to have a talk with the Godless Iowan. Is that it? I believe.
How do you get a hold of these people? How do you get to convince them to come onto your channel? I've tried reaching out a couple of them, and they're not even willing to have a conversation with someone named Theopho.
I'm like, hey, do you want to come and do a thing, or will you debate me? And I just bug them until they say yes, or until I get blocked.
It's not my thing.
So yeah, the 22nd, I'm the 7 p.m. Central District Time. I'm supposed to talk to Godless Iowan. I'm guessing I'm on his channel. And I guess we're going to talk about, I don't know, whatever. He mentioned the 1 Minute Skeptic. I guess we'll be talking about that to some extent. I'm not sure that there's a lot I could say about that series that I haven't already said, but whatever, that's fine. Here it is. Well spoken. Yeah, that's what she said 3 days ago. All right. Now I know that was the who is it? Elijah Davialoyas, however you want to say his name, talked about losing faith hard, and for him it was, but you know, for other people it won't be, or whatever. You know, everyone's going to be different, but you know,
that's why I encourage everyone, man. If you are a heavily religious person, read your own Bible. Either two things are going to happen: your faith is going to get stronger, or you're going to lose faith.
Yeah,
that's all.
Well,
I can say.
I mean, for me, and I try to get religious people to study the history of their religion.
They're gonna ignore that. Remember, I'm a history buff. They're gonna ignore that like the plague, man.
Yeah.
They don't care about historical facts.
But see, the thing is, if it's true, then the historical facts should back it up.
Yeah, of course, but they don't care.
There's nothing to fear.
They only believe. Okay, you got remember me and you both, and I'm assuming this other gentleman as well that's in here. But you got to remember, we think about it like a theist. When you were religious, when you had this belief structure, the only talking points that you ever listened to came from their vantage point. That's one of the reasons why we are atheistic today, because we take the information from all avenues and digest it.
Definitely at first it was that way, but of course when I put myself on YouTube, that's when I, started to investigate, because
I was raised in a religious home, but
I wanted to convince
they never
people.
convinced me, so
yeah.
Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you. If you really want to, that's one of the reasons why.
Like Johnny Drive-By, he's never been religious. Like a lot of. It's funny how, you have people with and without deconversion stories and all this, and I always find it an interesting phenomenon, because you have two different, very distinct ways of understanding the world. Like, you have this lens of it's just, I always saw it as magic and never thought it was real, and then you have the whatever the process is that, the person stopped believing in whatever it was that they believed in. And whether it's religion or, some other paranormal idea like ESP or, psychic powers or whatever it is, that people can believe in all sorts of weird things.
God, if I ever ran into someone like that, I would just tell them to go Google or YouTube The Amazing Randy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
Yeah, Elijah's pretty cool. I've watched some of his stuff. Hopefully we'll have a talk with him, we all have. Why do we say we when we're talking about ourselves? That doesn't,
because you're psycho.
Okay, great.
hey, Theophobe, I was when I was going to the first Reason rally, I was reading an article in one of the secular magazines. I can't remember which one it was. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about, there was a big article on atheists are coming out of the Bible study schools. People that are studying the Bible, there's like a large percent of them that they're questioning, they're having to question, and they're reading it through and saying, what the fuck is this?
Well, what really inspired me myself is there's a guy on YouTube named Aaron Roth. Some people hate him, some people like him. He's kind of my style in reference to my talking points. But I watched one of his videos from back in 2009, and one of the talking points he had was, I welcome anyone to read your Bible, look at what your own words say. And I took his challenge, and I tweeted him a long time ago that that's what made me an atheist. And then I found the Cult of Dusty, and he hit it even a more angle that I agreed with. Some people don't like him either, but what have you. So,
do you know what I think about that? I think that it's not like this whole fate thing, but I think there's people that are just destined to question things.
Well, because
you don't have a choice on how you were raised. You're a Baptist. You're a Catholic.
I like the argument for the atheist God, which is the real God is the one that doesn't want anyone to believe in it. And so all the atheists are good to go, and everyone else.
There's a philosophical talking point right there. Well, see, to me, it comes down to a very simple fact. You can read the Quran. I'm reading this comment from the Pauper. So, if you read the Quran, you for example, in my own video I did last Sunday, people claim, for example, Islam is the religion of peace. Islam is not the religion of peace. You read any of it. You read any of the texts in the Quran. It blatantly tells you to kill infidels or non-believers.
I have to interrupt. It's a mistranslation. It's religion of pieces.
What have you? But I'm just talking what the main Muslim, the main Islamists are making the claim.
Yeah.
But that's, now if you read the Bhagavad Gita, which is the Hindu holy text, it has some really crazy shit in reference to incest, if I remember correctly, or something with animal. I don't remember. But like I said, any religious text, I don't care if you're Buddhist, I don't care if you're Muslim, I don't care if you're, especially Mormon. God, read the Book of Mormon. It'll boggle your mind.
Scientology, you left them out.
God, don't even give me that.
I don't think they even have a centralized text, but I do know that the Scientology people that got away from it, a couple of them had tried to do the weird testing thing that they do, but they did it apart from the religion. They said that this is like, we're just going to do it on people just because, and we're not trying to get them into Scientology. And Scientology like sued them for like copyright infringement or something like this. It was really weird.
Yeah, they've done a lot of lawsuits in reference to anybody doing any form of critiques. Can I reply to one of the comments that was done on one of the watchers? You mind?
Yeah,
can I have permission? The popper goes, I agree, but it seems you have something against the Bible. Is that because of your upbringing? So to answer that question, Popper, it's very simple. I have a personal animosity toward the Abrahamic faiths, because most people who follow Abrahamic faiths, I don't care if you're Jewish, Muslim, or Christian, they are completely ignorant on the origins of your own religion, and that religion is Zoroastrianism. So if you even point out any of the facts that a lot of their core beliefs of all three of these major religions come from Zoroastrianism based in Persia, blatantly, I will criticize more prominently whatever religion is based in the country I live in, which is Christianity here in the U.S. I'm critical on all religions, but predominantly here in the U.S., the ones that are trying to mandate a Christian theocracy here in this country are Christians, not Muslims. There's my answer.
We do have a problem with certain political groups or whatever that seem to be against people saying things against Muslim, like, oh, you said this bad thing about Muslims. Like, yeah, and so now you don't want to give this person the chance to talk at your stadium or whatever. It's like, so you're that afraid that what are you afraid of? Because you can talk against any religion, right? Or why are we protecting the Muslim religion? Like, what? Why? Like, well, that to me is really scary, because it's like, look, all religion, every idea, forget about religion, all ideas, including the one that I'm uttering, must be attacked, must be analyzed, we have to throw them against the wall and see if they stick, and then if they do stick, we have to look at them and try to figure out why they stuck. You know, I mean, that's what critical analysis and being skeptical and thinking deeply, and I guess a free thinker is all about that. You know, and I was saying, you know, that, you know, I can learn anything now and not worry about what I learned, because it's not going to hurt my beliefs, because I don't have any. I mean, I don't really know what I would call the things that I think are true, because it's like, well, maybe I don't have a really good word for that you know, if I don't want to use the word belief, you know, it's like, what do you call it? Yeah, like things I think are true. You know, I guess those, you know, but you know what I'm saying? Like I don't, like, if it turns out that 1 + 1 is 1,000,000 and I've been wrong this whole time, I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, that's great, you know.
But that's the key part about being an atheist or a non-believer over being a theist. We accept that there are certain things that we may never know, or in time science will discover over a period of many, many different tests. Where in theism, they have the claim to have the answer to everything. Their answer is, if they don't know, like, if it's not coming from God, it's based in around something to do with God or their gods. They claim to have the answer to everything, and that in itself is a fallacy.
And when they're dead wrong long enough, they adjust their thinking to say, "Oh yeah,
it's called moving the goalpost, man."
Yeah, and they evolution. Okay, evolution. Yeah, well, God created evolution now, so they fought it for years. And
let's talk a little bit about that. That we're now seeing people say Islam is a race. No, it's not. It's not. It's a religion.
Well, we are seeing people say that.
Yeah, people do say it. Yes, I agree, and they're wrong.
You know what I call people from the Middle East? I don't refer them as Muslims. I refer them as Arabs. That's what we were told to say when I was in the military. We refer those individuals from Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, what have you, as Arabs or people from the Middle East.
Because you don't know if they're of the Muslim faith or Islam
Absolutely,
faith.
They're
Whatever
the
the hell you want to
largest
call the
religion.
damn thing. It's not just a religion, it's also an ideology and political ideology on top of being a religion. Like, it doesn't, like, I suppose you could make some kind of comparison between Catholicism and Islam in the sense that Catholicism was a religious government style that they succeeded in actually having their own place that they rule from. And the Muslim Islam thing seems to want to do that, just with tactics that I'd rather they not do it with. You know?
Well,
what's that? What I see the genesis of that whole criticizing Islam is that it's Western centric, that mentality, because Muslims are a minority in the U.S. and Canada,
but they're not a minority in Europe.
They're not a minority in the world. So,
yeah, it doesn't matter even if they're a minority. That doesn't make you immune from criticism.
I know that, but like this whole mentality of the identity politics and intersectionality and so forth. It's, they're like a protected species. You can't criticize them or you're racist, you're Islamophobe. And that's something they created. That's what the jihadis created to protect them, insulate themselves from criticism.
Well, see, I'm a left winger, bro. I'm by definition politically on the left. And one of the biggest tropes I see that I absolutely hate is that everyone on the left is in support of Islam. And that is further from the truth. I absolutely abhor the ideals of Islam. Everything it teaches, everything it makes people do, everything it personifies upon society and toward women, toward everyone. And it goes into the core principles of Islam. When it comes to this specific religion, like I was mentioning about Europe, here in the U.S., yes, Islam is a minority religion. But if you go to places in Southern Europe, like Yugoslavia, Serbia, Bosnia, all those countries are prominently Muslim, and they're
leftovers from the Ottoman Empire.
Absolutely, but they're still Muslim.
Yeah.
See, look, I like the fact that the Ottoman Empire has given me something to sit on, but
they sent you a chair.
Ottoman, right?
Hey, Theophobe.
What's up, brother?
Got a question in chat.
I get called Islamophobe and a racist when I criticize.
Ignore it.
I criticize. I know I do, and I criticize Christianity all day, day after day. Then one little crack about hijabs. I don't think it's the symbol of oppression for women. You're a racist. You're Islamophobe. They go nuts, and these are people on the left, and I'm on the left. Well, and I don't. It's not part of my human rights. Is not to put women in garbage bags.
People don't understand something, man, and this is a key important things. And this is why I told D-Man a while ago in reference to this. Politics is innately inside religion. You cannot talk about religion without getting into politics. And predominantly because I'm an American. Here in the U.S., the prominent figures in religious entities that embed themselves in the political process here is Christianity, not Islam. And I like going back to that conversation I had with that gentleman last Sunday or last Thursday. He states that he advocates for a Catholic theocracy, just like Islam. Islam wants a theocracy in whatever country it exists. And most Christians would want a theocracy here in the U.S. There is Mike Pence, our VP.
There's prominent politicians that are dominionists.
Absolutely, man. And that's one of the main problems I have with Christianity. As much as they like to paint Islam as a worse religion, which technically it is, even Richard Dawkins said so.
But if he says it, then it's true.
Yeah.
Well, no, we're affected by Christianity. We're not really affected by Islam.
Hey, don't you be blasphemy against Richard Dawkins, man. Well, Theophobe, you got some feedback. I don't know if you can turn.
I'm looking at it. Okay, so going into what he's saying, so I'm going to go What are your ideas of the chosen people as described in the Bible? And I heard that. Okay, so what's approaching thing? There is no chosen people. According to biblical ideology, if you really want to look at, I even watched a council series they had called AD just recently to really look into their ideology in reference to what they talk about the Bible. I recommend you watch that, D-Man, if you get a chance. It's really laughable.
About?
Huh?
Sorry, what did you say? What is it?
It's called AD, Kingdoms and Empires. It's on Netflix if you get a chance. It's really good. It was from 2015. It's supposed to be a sequel to the Bible, but it's hilarious in how they paint God.
A sequel to the Bible?
Sequel
What's
to the Bible. Bible, the next generation.
Bible 2 coming to a theater near you.
According to biblical mythology, there is no chosen people. Back in the day, the God supposedly made a covenant with the Jews. Then when Jesus Christ supposedly came on earth, he created a covenant for all mankind. That's why supposedly Jesus Christ got nailed to the stake, got killed, and then became a Jewish zombie. and got raised to heaven. So there is no chosen people in the Bible.
You've got horrible squeakiness.
There's one in the Old Testament, though.
Yeah, absolutely. They're the Jews.
And Jesus said he hasn't come here to dispute the Old Testament, or right? I don't remember its exact quotes.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. It's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Strong.
So 144,000 male virgin Jews are going to go to heaven.
Well, it says 12,000 of the 12 tribes of Israel.
Yeah, you're squeaking. I'm trying to get you to
stop.
Am
I squeaking?
Yeah, you're squeaking. You're squeaking.
How's this? It's better?
Say something again.
Am I still squeaky?
Squeaky. Do you hear it, or is it just me?
Yeah, I'm hearing the squeaking.
What do you mean squeaking?
Like
it's like a jingling sound that's following your voice.
It's like scraping nails against a shock.
No, he's got a reverb.
Is it reverb?
Mechanical reverb on his mic.
It's Satan again. It's just trying to screw us over, man. Wait, with Satan being on our side, shouldn't we be doing a lot better? Maybe that's why atheists do so well in communities.
How's this? Is this better?
Yeah, that's way better.
Okay, I turned off my mic, and my microphone does that, so I apologize.
That's all right.
Anyways, Dennett said the internet is what is killing religion.
Yeah, I've said this as a joke, and somebody said it to me years ago that the internet's where religion comes to die. Well, kinda, yeah.
Yeah, kinda.
What's if you pursue the truth honestly, then you will walk away from as many false beliefs as you possibly can. But I do think that there are, because different brains work in different ways, that there might be or is a brain that cannot let go of certain concepts no matter how hard that person tries. So if that's you, well, who knows unless you try. And if you tried and you can't do it, but you can get pretty close, well, that's good enough. As long as you're holding as many true ideas as possible and as many, it all depends on, because at the end of the day, it's like, if you are willing to question whatever it is you hold most dear, then we can come to the negotiation table and work things out. But if you're saying, well, this thing is something I will never give up, then that potentially gets to conflict, because then I either have to remove you as an obstacle or in some way, shape, or form. And that might be, putting you in jail. It might mean eliminating you from the mortal coil. It could be any number of things, but none of them are probably going to be good. So whatever idea or ideas we have as an individual and as a group, we should always be willing to say, well, we could be wrong. And that's when societies flourish, whenever we bring all ideas together in one and we allow them space to mingle and breathe. And that's when the best inventions are made. Of course,
Well,
then
they're just. I agree with that to a certain point, unfortunately. And here's what I mean by it: there are just certain innate ideas that humanity has put upon our society today that we will all agree that is generically just bad. A good example is communism. Communism is a horrible political system. And another idea, Nazism, another, both one on the left, one on the right, both a horrible political ideology. And I, if you bring those ideas to the forefront and in reference to any discussion, they both lead based on historical fact to death and murder as in reference to their talking points. So like I said, I agree to a point that ideas are good to put out, but certain ideas just are innately bad.
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, there's plenty of ideas that are bad, but we have to get whatever they are and say, okay, well now we've identified it. Now we put it in the book of bad ideas so that we know what not to do or whatever. I don't understand what the Popper wants us to talk about.
Well, Popper wants me probably to answer what do I think about the Jews, and can I answer that real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Here's my answer to that, Popper. It's very simple. They're a proud people with a very rich historical context that I welcome anyone to research, because their achievements, their merits all across the world is highly, highly respectable. But in regards to the religious structure, their religion came from a time where it was based, like I said again, on Zoroastrianism.
Mhm.
Their core beliefs came from this original religion that predates Christianity by 1,000 years. So I have no respect toward the Jewish faith, because I think their religious ideas are as bad as Christianity and Islam. They're based on superstition. Yet I have high respect for anyone who comes from Hebrew descent. That's all I have to say.
And he's challenging DM Murdoch with the Zoroastrian connection. Channeling.
He's challenging me?
Really? He's channeling DM Murdoch. That's what I meant.
Oh, I would love to. I would love to inform anyone on Zoroastrianism if they really want to know. I can give you a great website right now. It'll give you a breakdown on exactly what Zoroastrianism believes. Religiousfacts.com, one of my favorite websites. Sorry for.
Are you familiar with DM Murdoch?
DM Murdoch. Is he on the chat?
No, she died like 3 years ago.
I don't.
That'd be really cool if she was in the chat. That'd be awesome.
So who was she?
Akaria S is a mythicist, and she learned the languages, the root languages, and studied the sources for the religions, like in Latin and in ancient Greek and etc., and came to conclusions that what you're talking about is that she wrote many books on the subject, that religion is Christianity and Judaism has its roots in older religions like Zoroastrianism. Yeah, and it's, I mean, that's just, to me, it was always like, do you remember that thing where like 100 years ago they said before plate tectonics were accepted, it was pretty manifest that the South America, North America, and Africa kind of fit in together. You look at a globe and you can
kind of get that image like it's like a jigsaw puzzle.
Obvious that Christianity and Judaism came from earlier faiths.
And I don't get anybody could deny that. You just look at the core principles of their beliefs. They both believe in heaven and hell. They both believe in a singular deity. They both believe that the concepts of good and evil. They believe in a soul. They believe in the concepts of sin. The list is so vast. And anybody who's blatantly ignorant to make the claim that Islam is not a distant cousin to Christianity is blatantly a liar. And I'll say that to anyone's face. I don't care. That's
why they call them the Abrahamic faiths. They all copied. Well, Islam copied from the Old Testament for their Quran and so forth.
Why do people keep asking what are black people? What are these people? What are these people?
What?
I don't know, man.
I'm a secular humanist. I mean, I want society as a
Black
whole,
people.
black, white, whatever, to progress in a positive angle based
I
on
think
scientific facts.
Chat's having its own conversation at this point.
I'm confused. I'm like,
Soy wars. Yeah, that's identity politics. Mentality.
absolutely.
So people, what do you think about people?
In general,
Are they good or bad? The color of your skin, or your language, or
I
your
think that
origin has nothing to do with the quality.
we're the most confused creature that there is.
absolutely.
We're also obfuscating.
Man.
You know, because like, you look at something like, jellyfish or whatever, and these things, like, there's things that don't even have brains, but they get along just fine.
They have a lot
Well,
of brains.
Well, it's
See
kind of like
There's that
See that
what's the-
commercial for Prevagen for memory, and it comes. They have an ingredient that came from jellyfish. I'm like, jellyfish don't even have brains. They don't have a central nervous system.
like the
Spit it out.
I don't know, whatever. All right.
Well-
Anyways, it's late. I gotta get going. So,
It is late.
you guys can do your thing on a different thing or whatever. All right. Thanks, everyone. I don't know what this was. Comment on my other video if you want, or look at it and tell me. So there's
good. Thanks for the conversation, D-Man.
yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
I got a good one. Severed Head says, so there are adults involved with the channel, but the teens are putting their faces and ideas up for public scrutiny. You're being used. Exactly. The teens are being used by the adults.
Well, like I told you, man, they're indoctrinating. These adults are indoctrinating their children like we were back 30, 40 years ago. And now parents are have to be more vigorous about it to prevent, because like you mentioned, the children have the internet. Children have all these resources in front of them that completely debunk religion, which something that their parents did not have.
Exactly.
If I can just say my last 2 bits on this.
Yeah.
I recently had a discussion with my mom. My mom's not a Christian. She's a Christian, but she believes in God. But she's not a religious entity at all. And I was telling my mom, same thing I was mentioning about reading her Bible. And I told my mom, all the stuff that I learned being a Jehovah's Witness and then reading the Bible and worrying about the facts about these things later on is what made me become a non-believer.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I'm going to say is either one of two things will happen with these kids. And one of them's good, one of them's bad. One of the things I'm going to mention is these kids are going to be forever indoctrinated in religion, or they may end up like us, and where they take those times and experiences and they change. So
hopefully we'll be around to see if they become like us, but not like us, but like skeptics. Not
you will become like us. It's like the Cybermen.
You don't want to.
I don't like using the word skeptic.
I've got too many problems. I do.
I don't, because unfortunately the anti-SJWs on YouTube have hijacked that name to make it.
I'm anti-illogic, so if an SJW has an argument, then I'll look at it. But so far I haven't seen any, so I got nothing.
It was nice meeting you, Theophobe. I subscribe to your channel. I'm going to watch your videos.
You didn't have to, man, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, you guys should subscribe and watch each other. And everybody should watch. Everybody should watch everybody and all that stuff. So
all ideas are important, man.
Yeah, like both of you, though. If you get the time, look at my video that I was talking about, and you guys tell me in text, whatever, if I should leave it up or.
Is that the young person old arguments?
No, yeah, that one, and then the follow up, which is the brain. My brain's gone. That's what it's called.
Well, I'm seeing on my suggestion up next, young person old arguments, and then David Pakman is convincing someone to have sex coercion.
What?
Huh?
David Pack. I don't know if you watch David Pakman.
Oh, I watch David Pakman all the time. I'm actually a Patreon of his.
Yeah.
What?
Pac-Man?
It's a new one.
David Pakman is a progressive like myself. He is probably the third most popular left-wing progressive on YouTube. Next to, I would say, Secular Talks number one.
Yep.
Number
Okay.
2 would be Jimmy Dore, and then 3 would be him.
All right, guys, gals, robots, etc. Thanks for watching whatever this weirdness was. And then listen until we have Lobster's logical fallacies. We should be skeptical of the coherent of what meow meow meow.